And we're back.
Okay.
Okay, so, Yolanda, do you want to watch her do this, or do you want to watch the facial? Watch the training. Okay.
Yes. Okay. This is called New Consultant Training Outline.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay. New Consultant Training Outline. This is one of 3 sessions, hopefully. And I am going to, we're not going to do any questions right now. We're going to do questions at the end. I'm going to allow time because I'm going to talk for an hour, from 7 to 8. And then we'll have questions from 8 to 8:15. Does that sound good? Okay. So, here we go. And I am, in the future, will be sending handouts to those that live far away and can't come, that want to, and these will also be attached on the website as well. Tonight, there's really not any handout other than the outline. But this is showing you everything that we're going to go over. So, is that working good?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going up my skirt or anything, is it? Oh, my word.
No, it's not.
Not
Okay.
that.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
It just, you were so like, it was like all you could see was this.
Oh, okay. So this works good.
Mm-hmm.
So, just pretend like y'all are brand new consultants, and Yolanda, you are going to be a brand new consultant. So, are y'all ready to get started?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I just have to tell you, and this is true, that I love new consultant training because I love working with new consultants because they're excited, they're ready to get going. And I still remember to this day, 19 years ago, what it felt like when I was starting to work my business. Well, it wasn't, I joined 19 years ago, but I didn't start working my business until 7 years after that. So I would say 12 years ago. Exactly the nervousness and the excitement that I had, all those things in my stomach all at one time. My director actually lived on the west side of Arlington, and I lived in South Garland, so we had mostly a telephone relationship. And I had never sold anything in my life, and I know that y'all know that. And I thought that I hated salespeople. I really did. I'd be like, talk to the hand. I grew up in Dallas. So my first experience with Mary Kay was with my mom when I was probably 10 years old, where they had all the pink stuff sitting out, and you poured the water, and you did the little mixing, and I thought it was my grandma's makeup, basically. I mean, I did. Then, when I went to college, I was introduced to the product again, and I started using it then, and then that consultant disappeared, and I moved back to Dallas, so I just started using Estee Lauder or other products, things like that. And then what happened after that was, this is so funny, because you guys are always looking for new team members, right? I was working in the doctor's office as office manager for the several doctors, one of them being my dad. That was an interesting working relationship. But there was respect there, so as long as there was respect on both sides, it worked out fine, and it worked out fine for 15 years. One of the patients came in, and she talked to the front lady, and she said, "Can I please share Mary Kay with you?" And she, on purpose, we're still friends to this day. She's a cute little Hispanic girl, Mimi. I owe it all to Mimi. She says, "You owe it all to me for your success in Mary Kay," because she didn't want to talk to Leisha, so she shoved her off on me. And at that point in my life, I was 25 years old, and I didn't know how to say no to anybody for anything. I was just, when you're younger, you say yes because you want to please everybody. So Leisha came back, and I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. I can't." And Leisha said, "I just need to practice interview," because I said, I've used the product before, I know it's good. I'm going to do a practice interview on you. So she did a practice interview on me and signed me up. So at that point, I told her, and you guys know this from my little card in my marketing story, but Yolanda doesn't, that I said I want to just do this for personal use, where I order a few times a year, and that's all I'm going to do. This isn't something that I do. And so, anyways, 7.5 years later, I realized, because of a life-changing experience in my life, my husband had emergency open heart surgery and almost died, and so my director would ask me every year, "Can you please come to this seminar?" And I'd say no. But that year, she'd worn me down. Not in a bad way. I mean, she's always very just pleasantly, always ask me, Lisa, if you could just see the big picture. So I went, and that's when my eyes were opened, and I know y'all have heard this, but my eyes were, I was like, wow. I mean, I didn't want to be around a bunch of women, really, that didn't, I'm not one of these big girl trip kind of girls. If I have a choice, I would rather go do something with my family, you know, with my husband and my kids. But I've learned to love, you know, the girl trip thing, too. So anyway, when I went to seminar, I saw Gloria Mayfield Banks, who was, she's actually, I think she's the best paid African-American national sales director in Mary Kay. Debut as a national sales director, and she was an admissions officer at Harvard. She'd worked with IBM at one point. Anyway, she just blew me away. I was like, wow, that woman she is smart, she is talented, she is amazing, and this is good enough for her, and this certainly can be good enough for me. So the other thing, too, that really struck me was the whole thing about people being able to talk about the Lord. I was like, how can they get up there and talk about Jesus Christ? Wow, I had never been in a company where it was so open and you could hear people's testimonies and how it all intertwined with their business as well. So, and I was very busy. I had a 10-month-old and a 3-year-old. I worked probably 25 to 30 hours a week at the doctor's office, and I was very involved in church. So the reason I share all those things is because I truly didn't have 40 hours a week to work Mary Kay, much less 10 hours. But the reason I share that with you is because I want you to know that whatever your time constraints you're looking at, if you're a find a way, make a way kind of woman, then you absolutely can make this work for you. And I have found that the women that are here that are participating are the ones that have crazy lives. I'm like, wow. I mean, like Leah and Brittany, and Amy just until recently, because she worked for, Office Depot. But my point being that the busy women are the ones that get things done. So the cool thing about Mary Kay is that you get to totally pick from the menu what you want out of Mary Kay. So it is our job as your sales directors to decide where you want to be, and then your director will take you backwards from there from that end goal to create a plan for you so that you feel like you know exactly what it takes to meet your goal instead of running around like a crazy person like I was today with the water shooting out the sink and everything. So that you don't feel overwhelmed spinning and trying to make everything work. So whether I'm your director or Sarah Catherine's your director or someone else is your director, it's kind of our role to make sure that you guys have the tools and that you're equipped with what you need to succeed. So raise your hand if you're in here and you got that starter kit in the mail from Mary Kay or you picked it up. Y'all all got the starter kit, right? Okay. So all of you, my point with that is that all of you have the tools that you need to be 100% successful. Even if I or Sarah Catherine were to move away to Zimbabwe, or fall off the face of the earth, you still could do it without us. I mean, truly, you could. So it's up to you what you want to take out of that starter kit. Do you want just some extra spending money? Do you want to pull a pink Cadillac out of your starter kit? I never in my wildest dreams thought that. I never thought that possible for me. I wanted it, but I didn't know how I could possibly. Even the first car, I thought, that's crazy. That is just downright crazy. So if you want flexibility or financial freedom, some women just want girlfriend time. They like the positive atmosphere. Or being able to stay at home. Whatever you want out of that starter kit is there waiting for you, and it's truly up to you if and when you take advantage of it, what's being offered. I've worked this business a little bit. I've worked it a lot, and we can do it all different ways. That's what's so great. I didn't feel pressured those 7 years to do something more, and I didn't get kicked out in the meantime, So if life happens, I earned a car with 3 huge screws fusion in my ankle just because of supportive customers and a supportive team. So Mary Kay's great. Okay. So we want y'all to know that you get Sarah Catherine and I for the rest of your Mary Kay life. And so since you get us for the rest of your life, Amy, let's start with you, and just you tell us how long you've been in Mary Kay. You're going to have to do this. How long you've been in Mary Kay, the number one reason you decided to join, and what you think so far is your most immediate goal for yourself, in a minute or less.
Okay. My name is Amy. I've been in Mary Kay for almost a year. I joined so that I could make a little bit of extra money and maybe one day stay home with my son. And my most immediate goals would be to be in DIQ.
Very good. And Brittany, what would be, how long have you been in Mary Kay, the number one reason you decided to join, and what you think so far is your most immediate goal for yourself?
Aw. No, I'm good.
No,
No, I'm
okay.
good. I'm good. Okay, my name is Brittany Cho. No, Amy.
Yes, we are.
And my reason for joining Mary Kay, this is so embarrassing. I don't want to do this.
It's good for you.
No. Okay, my reason for joining Mary Kay is I don't like Starbucks. Don't put that on anything.
We won't. They won't.
So, and my immediate goal is I want my first team member by Thursday.
Yay!
Yay.
So, and you also, you're student teaching.
Yes, I'm student teaching, and I'm going to be graduating May 12th.
Yay!
Yes.
You're student teaching. Okay. Yolanda, you aren't quite yet a consultant, but why don't we pretend like you are? How long have you been in Mary Kay? One day. Tonight. Just kidding.
Tonight.
And what would be the number one reason that you would like to join, and what would, if you were to join us, what would be your most immediate goal for yourself?
Well, I like the product. I will live on it. And I like to make extra money.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little here.
You look
I
like
like
you like the
shopping.
finer things in life because you look good.
Thank you. I like a little extra money. And I'm new in town. Yeah, hopefully
Those are all good
I
things.
can be successful while I go.
Do you know that the Hispanic market is the largest growing in Mary Kay as far as consumers and
There are doctors.
yes, it's true. So us gringos need to get it going. Okay. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
you know, you can tell my makeup. We like to
Yeah.
use
She always looks that good, too.
I like
Oh,
to
wow.
use makeup all the time. You see, we don't have makeup on the day.
Wow. Well, you should have seen me today. I think I scared the guy that was working here. I didn't have anything on, so except my clothes. So now what I want y'all to do next. So and I like for y'all to kind of share, because that's good to get that out there. See what's different, how y'all are all different, but how you're all working for a common goal. Now what I want you to do is take your piece of paper, maybe on the back, and I want you to write down. And if you're via Ustream or, no, not in the car, but you can do a note Voxer to self. Okay. I want you to get a piece of paper and write down maybe 1, 2, or 3 reasons why you think Mary Kay might not work for you. We're just going to get that out of the way from the get-go. Think of reasons why Mary Kay may not work for you. Reasons why Mary Kay may not work for you. So funny, I'm getting ready to talk about Starbucks as part of my training. Okay. Okay, did y'all write down your reasons?
I shouldn't have put this on Facebook.
I'll put one.
I can take it off when we get home. Huh?
I'll put one reason.
Okay. Amy, what would be the one reason that Mary Kay might not work for you?
If I don't keep up the momentum, if I don't do that, then it won't work for me. If I don't keep doing what I know I need to do.
Right. The momentum would translate into the activities, IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very true. But that's the same, if you go to a job, if you don't show up at your job, because people have asked me before, they're going to come to pick up your car, and they have yet to come pick up my car.
So the difference for me and Mary Kay would be that since it's your own business, you really have to be self-motivated
Yes.
to keep that up. So.
Know your why and your passion. That's what it took, was me going to seminar to say, I am going to be able to provide for my children with or without a man. And my husband, I couldn't have done that the other way. You know, I know some people, I'm going to win the lottery. Well,
Well, good for you.
not going to do. So, what about you, Londa? What would be one or two reasons why Mary Kay might not work for you?
Number one, travel economy. How we're going to Texas. I don't know if you heard the news. Could be bad.
Interesting.
Well, women with like makeup, you know.
Yeah.
Another one, I'm new in town. 6 months being here. Gonna take me time to know people to grow the business.
Okay. What about you, Brittany? And I'm gonna address some of these concerns.
For
They're all
me,
very
it
valid.
was like my fiance is right at the part of changing career paths. So he like wants me to work more at my current job, whereas I would rather work here more. So I don't want it to cause issues with my family.
Didn't even know that.
So, because I want to move away from that, but I want to expand this, and he wants me to work there more, so we can at least have that money.
Like the security.
The security of it, yeah.
I think that, and the reason I had you share those is not to put like, oh, you know, you're thinking them anyway. So I like to get that out there because I feel that all those reasons are very valid and legitimate concerns. I am going to address the one with the economy. I am selling, my sales were up last year from the year before.
Good.
I was in the quarter sales last year. I missed it by a little bit the year before. So my sales were actually up last year. Because as long as little girls are being born, and you never judge, I never judge somebody by what they look like they have money, they don't look like they have money. I mean, you do not know if someone has money unless you've seen their checkbook, or the balance is in their checkbook. And I've also found that if women, what they find value in the product, they're going to get it. They're going to, I mean, we saw an example of that on Saturday. Some people can look like they have, I mean, so it just isn't, you know. So as far as, you know, the economy, a lot of people use I'm new as a way to go and meet people. There's all kinds of ways that can be your excuse to go to this networking event or this social event, or, you know, to be able to push yourself to get out the door to go meet people.
Matt and I moved 5 times in my first 5 years of my business. 5
Yeah.
times.
So you just pick up customers and team members along the way.
Well, and where I live, I know almost everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I do homemade candles.
Oh, okay.
Crochet and, you know, and I go to the doctor's office. I can
Oh,
make
there you,
candles.
yeah. Just your everyday business
Hey,
that you do, yeah.
You know, like, oh, I wanted you to try, you know, get some of the new fragrance I have. Oh, everywhere I go, I take my
She makes
business.
friends everywhere.
Yeah, of course you are. Well, she made me her friend right away by telling me I was in my early
Oh,
30s. I was like, you're my new BFF. And I knew BFF.
Hey, you look young for your
Thank
age.
you.
And here, already, you know, a member in my church.
Oh,
I belong to 2 groups. One is very little, but the other was over 200 people.
okay.
I do it for God, and I do it for me.
Right.
To meet people, I like to meet people.
Oh, wow. Okay,
I like
we'll see.
I like,
So the economy may be not a good
Yeah.
one, neither one.
And neither way you just said we talking about. This one, you can do Mary Kay with a man or without a man, but not against a man. So we're going to work on showing him some.
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes just a little bit of you know, of run. But we're gonna work on that one. So show him the money. But the reason and those are all understandable, legitimate concerns, but I can promise you that like all those things crossed my mind too. My biggest concern was they're gonna run when they see me, because I had the picture in my mind of that salesperson. that salesperson. So, but I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, there's only one way to fail in Mary Kay, and that's to quit. So if you commit to never quit, then that's the only reason it wouldn't work for you. And there have been times in my Mary Kay career that I thought that I should quit. And Maureen talked me off the ledge one time. And because, along with anything else, sometimes there comes hurt with, not like other jobs, trust me. But, I want y'all to stay with me the rest of your whole Mary Kay life. And some people come into Mary Kay for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And so the ones that come in for a reason or a season is because that's what it was meant for them to be, So all you have to do is just to absolutely commit to never quit and never giving up. And I really, truly believe that tenacity that I have had and that Sarah Catherine has had, like the commitment to never quit, is the reason that I am where I am in Mary Kay today, and why we are where we are in Mary Kay. So, and the other thing I've learned too is that if you quit, sometimes you're only 5 minutes away from your miracle. I mean, I was reading, what was that book I'm reading? But it's talking about all these rich entrepreneurs, like ones that kept on going, and then other ones who stopped, and then like one guy was looking for gold, and he was only half a mile away from the vein of gold, and he missed it. Like he sold it, and I don't remember the name right now. It's that Think Rich, Grow. What I mean, you know what I'm about that book? Yeah. But anyways, so if you do the work, you'll get the reward. So moving on to. Okay, so we've done welcome and intros, how long in Mary Kay, reason for joining, immediate goals, why Mary Kay won't work for you, and if you're via satellite, Ustream, then you're doing this as well. And then the only way to fail is to quit, and I'll send y'all the outline tonight when I get home. So the number 2 thing is secrets to success. What are the secrets to success? I'm going to give you 3 secrets to success if you want to hear them. Okay, number 1 secret is, get ready for this one. There are no secrets. As trivial as that may sound. Mary Kay has been around for 50 years. And it is a step 1, step 2, step 3 a proven business plan. This business works if you do. It's up to you how much you buy into it mentally and emotionally, and how much you stick to the plan. Some of y'all have heard, like, that when I went into Mary Kay, I had huge, big, lofty goals. First time I was just, personal use, but I had no intention of being a part-time consultant. I was scared to death, but I really wanted this to be something that I could be. I wanted to be Gloria. I'm like, it should be me. I want that to be me, National Sales Director. But my first immediate goal was to just do the faces, I wanted to become a sales director. That was my first goal within the year. So when I left seminar, I said, I want to be a sales director by this time next year. Show me what to do. And I knew that would be my ticket out of the office eventually as well. Not that I think that you can be really, really good at something but not love it. Like, it didn't bring me happiness. And Troy said that whenever I finally left the office that he saw me, I was a different person, So, but I was really, really scared, and I needed to decide to do everything. I decided to do everything that my director told me to do. That might sound really, really simple, but it's amazing to me how you can tell somebody, do this, and then they interpret it completely differently and go do it different. I'm not an amazing gifted person as far as all those techniques and all that kind of stuff. I'm just doing what I've been taught to do from other nationals, other top sales directors. So if you can learn and you're teachable and coachable, then certainly you can do this. There were a few times when I deviated, probably more than once. And whenever I went back to my director and, told her this isn't working, so she would say, well, then what are you doing? And so basically the bottom line was I wasn't doing what she told me to do. I was doing it my own way, which was the highway. So if you do it not the Lisa way, but the Mary Kay way, then it will take you to the top. And please learn that from my frustration too, that there are no secrets. Like I said, Mary Kay is not like corporate America. There's no sneaking in the back door. So there's no politicking your way to the top. I love that. So wherever you are is what you've done. So if you do the work, you get the rewards. So it's completely up to you how quickly and how much you move along the career path. Number 2 secret is that we think big thinkers. And that's something we've been talking about in our book. I have here the book, Secrets of the World Class. Let me show it to everybody. Okay. So if you haven't gotten this book, get this book, Secrets of the World Class. It's been shown that there's a difference between world-class thinkers, has nothing to do with, by Steve Siebold, has nothing to do with what you were born, what level of income you were born into. It has to do with your level of thinking. So if you're a world-class thinker and you're thinking big, then you can certainly, that's a huge secret for success. I've always been a huge visionary. I mean, I just think, okay, you know that when you were born, like not born, but when you were a little girl, did you feel like, I know that I'm a leader? Like, didn't you? You didn't? Yes, Amy, you did. Somewhere along the way, did you ever feel like you were really good at something? Oh, yeah. So people that are good at one thing can be good at this, too. All they have to do is transfer their skills. It's not, I mean, my mom didn't wear stitch makeup. She's from Sweden. You know, they don't, there's nothing. She still says, I don't know whose daughter you are. I'm like, come here, Mom. We're going to do your face. But I didn't know. I just thought black, white, you know, I didn't know any of it. I wasn't brought up where she could teach me how to do makeup. So, but if you're willing to learn, then, and it's not even that you have to be some big makeup person. It's basically skincare and a little bit of makeup. Because if you don't, I always tell the women that I'm talking to, and they say, oh, I don't wear makeup. I say, well, good, great. If your skin is in really good shape, then you don't need much makeup. So as a child, we all dream big, and what happens is that somewhere along the way, we lose that because of all the just yucky stuff that happens to us along the way. Like usually it's words, being told things, you know, you're this or you're that or you can or you shouldn't have done this. So we start to question ourselves, so then our dreams go down the toilet. So in Mary Kay, in this room, we think big, we dream big, we walk big, we act big, we just do everything big. So do you know what that also means? You're going to fall big. You're going to fall big. I have fallen big time, many times. So, and that's okay, because success is not determined by whether or not you fall down. It's determined by whether or not you get back up. And they said that Mary Kay had the bloodiest knees in town. I mean, people thought she was crazy, taking her life savings after she retired and opening up a storefront in downtown Dallas with a little Mary Kay store and a few consultants. And the day that she was supposed to do that, her husband, or the day before, her husband passed away. So she went ahead and did it anyway. Okay. The great thing about this company, too, is that when you do fall down and you're staring at the fork in the road of whether or not should I let this be an excuse, there's just know that there's been hundreds of thousands of other women in your same position who have been in that same exact fork in the road, and they've used it as a reason to make it work. So they're ready and waiting to pick you up and dust you off and get you back on the right path. So absolutely always positively think big. Now, this is what I want you to do on a piece of paper, that same piece of paper you have. I want you to write down your wildest Mary Kay dream. So if fear were not a factor, money were not a factor, nothing was a factor, what would be your wildest Mary Kay dream? Mary Kay dream is not your personal dream, like I want to live on a house on a hill, you know. This is I would want to be what in Mary Kay? Be so many different things for different people. Okay, so throw them out there at me. If you knew that you couldn't fail, if fear were not a factor, Brittany, throw them out at me.
My first career car by Christmas.
Very good. I'm excited. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
Amy.
I want to be a millionaire as an NSD. That's right.
A millionaire as a national sales director. Very good. Well, there's not very much past that. Okay. You just messed up my next exercise. Okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Yolanda.
I want to recruit people.
You want to what?
Recruit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, build your team.
Build my
Okay, very
team.
good. That would be your wildest Mary Kay dream. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. We're going to all, because if you, well, I'll tell you that in a minute. Okay. Oh, and I want you for the next 10 seconds, if you're via Ustream, you better close your eyes because I'm going to confine you if you didn't. And I want you to think bigger than that. What is bigger than the wildest dream that you just wrote down on paper? You might have to stretch your mind a little bit, and it doesn't have to be Mary Kay related. So for most people, Mary Kay is not the end all. It's the tool that you need to pursue your dreams. So Mary Kay being the tool to get you what you're wanting, what would that be? Ready, set, go. Think. Close your eyes and think. What would that be? Okay, I know. Brittany, what would that be?
Stay-at-home mom.
Aw, and see, that is so huge. And see, okay, that, I know the reason that you already have that vision is because of your daughter, your son.
No. Well, I mean, she's about to start school, but like in like 3 to 5 years, Clinton and I want to start our own family,
See,
and I would like to be
mature.
able to.
When I was, your age.
Sorry, and I would like to like be able to do night school and have a master's degree and stay at home with my kids that Clinton and I have while I get my master's, and maybe Mary Kay could pay for that.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely. Mary Kay can pay for lots of things. It has for me.
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay. Very good. Amy?
For, well, in being like in the top, that I can be like somebody's role model,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
To be a role model for other women.
Mm-hmm.
They say that, and to me that's huge too, the platform, the more successful you are in Mary Kay, the more women and men that will listen to you and, reach. Like, it was funny on Saturday, the carpet guy, he came in, he called me today, he was like, girl, I thought y'all are movie stars in there. They're just going to get your autograph. I'm like, you just want the job.
Yeah.
But, it's true. You have a bigger platform.
Well, yeah, that's how I wanted to join Mary Kay, because I felt like after WOW, listening to the National Soldier, they were great role models. So.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you
Phenomenal
could
with
do
it.
it.
Oh, you're so
Yeah.
sweet.
Okay, Yolanda, what would be your wildest, craziest dream?
My wild, crazy dream, and my house is all the time looking. Yeah, to do this, to do.
Do whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
I will change this. I will change that. We will no longer going to see so many little things.
That you
And I-
can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The money.
And you need the money to do it. And the reason I have you guys close your eyes is because unless you can dream it with your eyes closed, you can never achieve it with your eyes open. And that's been a proven fact. That's why I have you close your eyes. I tried to make my husband do it. He wouldn't do it. So I was like, Troy, close your eyes. Let's dream together. He's like, I am not one of your Mary Kay cousins. So, and here's the thing, is that a long time ago, God planted a little girl or a little boy dream inside of each and every one of us, and for whatever reason along the way, that gets stifled, and sometimes we tend to live in the reality and the complacency of it all, and we just think that's all we're going to get, because that's just life, that's just life. But, so I want y'all, but that's just not true. I want y'all to start practicing the art of dreaming. That doesn't mean sit there and dream all day and don't do any IPAs. It's important to spend time revisiting your dream. So if I ever get down and discouraged, I go back to why. Why am I doing this? Why did I start this? Why? For me, it's so that my kids, I'm a helicopter mom. You know, I'll just give it. And they love it, and they say, thank you, Mom. Thank you for, and they thank me for being able to stay at home with them, or being able to take them on trips, or providing the pool in our backyard. You know, my husband's make, a decent income, but there's not room for those extras. Like I have a lady coming to give me not carpet. I want my curtains in my house, like you just talked about. You know, I couldn't do that without my Mary Kay money. So, it is cold in here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to start dreaming really big, right? Okay. So I'm going to tell you something else about dreaming big. How many of you have read the book called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson? Have y'all read it? Write it down.
I've heard of it.
It is short. You're not going to have to read anything long. It's like a parable. It's called The Dream Giver. It's written by Bruce Wilkinson, who also wrote The Prayer of Jabez. And basically in this book, he talks about the fact that God uses the pursuit of our dreams to change and impact the lives of people all around us. And he talks about how humorous it is that God never plants our dreams He never plants our dreams within our comfort zone. Okay, that's what makes us unusual. Most people are living complacency. We have to stretch really far, and we have to have the courage to be disciplined and the obedience to stop and stretch out of our comfort zone in pursuit of that dream. I have been uncomfortable many times, but it's almost like an adrenaline rush to me, like, to just push the envelope. I've always pushed the envelope, like, if the line was right there, then I might stick my big toe over just to see what would happen. Not totally rebellious, but and another thing is that think about it this way: if we don't have the courage to do that, not only may we miss out on what God has truly planned for our lives. I had no idea this is what God had planned for my life. None whatsoever. But we would also miss out on affecting all the other hundreds of, maybe thousands of women that we were supposed to go in touch with us along that journey. And I feel that to be completely true. So sometimes, like when we're stretching just as far as we possibly can, we don't think we can go another step further. Take a deep breath and feel like, okay, maybe I can hang out here for a little while and just get used to this, because you will. And so Mary Kay Ash herself used to say that we become old when we outlive our dreams. How many of y'all know some older people that they're just sad because they don't have any reason really to live? I know some old ladies in Mary Kay, and they are little spitfires going and going and going and going. And so it's interesting because my sales director, everybody has different visions. She didn't want to be a national because when you become a national, you give up your, you can't sell the product? No, you can't sell the product.
You have to retire.
Yes, she doesn't want to retire. She doesn't want to retire. She wants to keep on
Going and going.
Yes. I'm like, I'll retire. Okay. So, now, dreaming big. But here's the catcher. No matter how big you're dreaming, unless you have a plan and a time frame, that dream is nothing more than a wish. I'm going to repeat that. No matter how big you're dreaming, unless you have a plan and a time frame, the dream is nothing more than a wish. Okay. Secret number 3. Okay. Work the numbers. So we've been doing the dreaming, and now we're going to work the numbers. I know y'all don't believe this, but I really am a numbers person as long as I have a calculator. And the reason you want to work the numbers and know the numbers is because honestly and truly, the numbers are what's going to make you the money. If you can be thinking you can be dreaming about Mary Kay all night long, but as long as you're not working or doing what we call IPAs, income producing activities, the numbers keep you in business. So when you work the numbers, then you learn to take the emotion out of the equation. And when you gain control of your emotions, you will gain control of your paycheck. Do you know that the Mary Kay Business Plan is actually taught at Harvard? It was that Harvard did a study on Gloria Hilliard. It's Gloria Mayfield Banks now, but Gloria Hilliard Mayfield, yeah, Mayfield, yeah, on her and how she actually made this business a proven reality. So they did a study on her. So, and honestly and truly, I mean, Harvard probably doesn't teach a guessing game, I would imagine. So, to be quite honest, and this is going to be true, people will fail you, but numbers never will. And sometimes people lie, not intentionally, they lie, but numbers don't lie. And I am going to give you some numbers that will take you all the way to the bank in Mary Kay. And if we get, I don't know how far we'll get tonight on actual, no, I don't think we're going to get to the actual, the vision casting till next week. But here's the numbers that you can rely on. Half of the parties that you book, I said book, will hold. So in other words, you get, I didn't say the half of the ones you call on, half the ones you book will hold. Half of the guests you confirm will show. How many? And I usually have a pretty good confirm rate, hold rate from what I confirm. But we were supposed to have 20 at 1 o'clock, and we had 13. I mean, you know. So that was confirmed the day before. Just because people get sick, life happens. It's not a lie. They're not lying. Just stuff happens. How many of you had to cancel an appointment for one reason or another before? So it's not personal stuff. It's just that's what it is. Half the guests who confirm will show. I said confirmed, not invited. Not invited, confirmed. And then 1 in 5 will sign. What does that mean? That means that for every 5 people that you share the career opportunity with, that you share, talk to, not just let them listen to a line, but talk to them. I have found that I'm most successful with people when I'm face-to-face with them and in their personal space. Because trust, because every relationship is built on trust. I don't think I met you anywhere, but I met Brittany,
Coffee.
For coffee. Yeah.
I met Crystal.
I met, she had, I had a Whataburger. Didn't have a Whataburger. We were Starbucks, I had Whataburger. But Crystal, I met for coffee. So the people that, that you're in their space. So 1 in 5 will sign. So those are the numbers, and we're going to talk about those more under vision casting later, more specifically. So we're in a cosmetics business, yes, but the cosmetic portion really, like some people say, I don't know how to do makeup. Okay, so here's the thing. Where's your eyeshadow go? Right here. Okay, where does your cheek color go? Right here. Your lips go right here. Your powder goes right here. So it's really not that hard. You probably know more than they do. That's all that matters. I mean, you can get as I know stuff now, but when I first started, I really didn't. So, really, more than that, it's a people business, like I talked about, integrity and trust, and them trusting you. So, I did come into Mary Kay for some personal growth. I really wanted to not be have that bad self-image that I had of myself. Always apologizing, always, feeling kind of bad. So, but I did also come in for the money. I'm not going to lie. Personal growth is a fun side of it that you get a benefit along with the money. So as you go through your Mary Kay career, you're going to learn different personality types that you're going to work with. And it's funny. Overall, I started to get along a lot better with my husband. Yeah, because Mary Kay has taught me how to be a much more, maybe thinking not today,
Save that.
overall, much more even-keeled person. I'll be honest with you, I would experience, when I would experience overwhelm, I would just cry. I would shut down and cry, and I would sob. I don't do that anymore, and I'm not even on drugs for that. So I'm not. And there's nothing wrong. Maybe I need to be. I don't know. But I'm just saying that I've learned how to handle, my emotions, learn how to ask my children questions and For example, Mary Kay, one thing that Mary Kay has taught me with them, say my middle son Brendan, he likes to play these video games. So he says, Mom, I want to get this game. My first question is, what's it rated? Well, it's rated M, but I said, why do you think it's rated M? Well, there's nothing bad with it because so-and-so's mom lets them use it, and so-and-so, and I know you really respect so-and-so's mom. I said, well, here's I want you to do some research on it yourself. These are things I learned in Mary Kay. Otherwise, before I was brought up as you do it, you do what I say, you do what I'm told, don't ask questions, and don't have an opinion about it, and just do as I say. That's called authoritarian parenting. And that's just what my parents were taught, and that's fine. So I did. I never knew what I thought about anything because I was just supposed to do what I was told. So now, through Mary Kay, I've learned to share what to tell my children. I want you to go do the research. Go to this website, www.pluggedin.com. It's Josh McDowell's. What's his name? Not McDowell. What's it called? Focus on the Family. Thank you. Focus on the Family, and it's a Christian review, but it's not a crazy, weird. It goes over the things that are good about each movies or. Anyways, my point being is, he came to me, said that. I said, you know what? I really want you to make the decision on this, but I want you to do the research. But I also know that he has planted in his heart. He has a spiritual. He really wants to do what God wants him to do. So all I had to do was have him go do the research, and he came back and made his own decision and said, you know what? No, I'm going to let him do it, but he didn't know that. But he came back and said, oh wow, this isn't appropriate for me. I said, great choice, Brendan, great choice. Just like in Mary Kay, I've learned today. My son, I texted him, I said, well, you got a 70 on your pre-AP geometry test. He said, well, Mom, Trevor made a 38 and JD made a 58. And I said, I have a question for you. And see, before I would have been like, you're trouble, you're grounded, that's how I was brought up. Instead, I said, I have a question for you. What reasons are you comparing yourself to people that always perform at a lower level than you do? I personally don't care what grades they're making. You're my child. So what reasons are you putting your bar down here? I said, do you think it would be a good idea for you to find someone whose bar is up here that does better than you, that you can associate yourself with, and shoot for that instead? And I said, and I even told him, I said, Maureen, my friend Maureen is kicking my butt in Mary Kay right now. Another sales director. I said, but that's what I learned from, and she's who I'm putting myself to that standard instead of going, these sales directors over here that are, I'm doing better than they are, so I'm good. No. And he said, I totally see what you're saying. So iron sharpens iron. So, I got off. Anyway, learning to work with your customers and your team members and your prospects really does apply to your family as well in huge big ways. And I know that when I was, oh my word, when I was doing the doctor's office, Troy's office, and all that, I felt like I was wearing all these different hats, and I couldn't be good at any really one thing. So, and I could never give 100% really to any of them. So in my mind, I was never in the next place that I needed to be. But the things that you learn in Mary Kay, you can apply to your real life as well. So since this is a people business, and Mary Kay Ash built this business on the principle that you become successful in life when you help enough other people get what they want and help them to become successful in achieving their own goals and reaching their own dreams. Mary Kay's mission statement, as you know, was to enrich women's lives. I also want you to know that you can only enrich a woman's life only so much through a good cleanser. So you're able to use, I look at it as our products to be a pathway into someone's life. So what you can do is when they're your customer or whatever else, you can find out what their needs are and share the company information with them. I truly do believe that this is the best career opportunity on earth. I could look at my first class that I had on Saturday and say it was a bust. I could have said that because it was what did I sell, like $20 or something. Yeah. The hostess afterwards comes up to me and says, I believe that what just happened here with you and me was a divine intervention. She's moving here from South Africa. Beautiful girl. And we started talking, and we have so many things in common, like talents and things like that. And so, maybe I didn't sell a whole huge much to that group, but she might be my next, one of my directors from my national area. Does that make sense? So the percentage of men is growing as well. We have the best career opportunity and the best product. Okay, so while that's being said, and it's our responsibility to build those relationships, you also have to be able to learn how to separate the relationships from the numbers. And this is what's so hard for me. I know it's hard for Sarah Catherine too, because you have to build the relationships but work on the numbers at the same time. And we're going to look at doing that. But the first thing I want you to know is I want you to put an acronym in your head. I know that Amy already knows what it is, but it's called an IPA. IPA stands for Income Producing Activity. So, in your business, I want you to be very aware of what an IPA is and what it is not. So when I talk I know that me personally, to get where I want to be, I want to do 8 IPAs per day. Well, Maureen's, her goal, just because I know we've talked about it, is 11 per day. So if I'm thinking about Mary Kay, that's not considered an IPA. Because it's really easy to get busy, being busy and not doing anything. So I think my cleaning woman, she thinks I'm a messy person. I think she thinks. She came over today and she was like, "Oh, you've been busy?" I said, "Yeah, my house is kind of dirty, isn't it?" She was like, "Yeah, that's the one thing I gave up at one point, and then I went back and I told her I'm never giving that. Sorry, I cleaned for the cleaning lady to come. I got to clean for her to come."
Oh, because, I feel sorry for your mom every time she walks in my house.
I'm like,
it looks like me when I'm young. I used to be the same way.
Okay, I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I got these boys. So, for example, an income-producing activity is something that directly affects the money coming into your business. So, for example, would alphabetizing your products on your shelf, is that an IPA? Gotcha. No.
Like
Thank you, Brittany. No. Brittany is correct. No, that is not an IPA. Would picking up the phone to text or call to book an appointment count as an IPA?
Yes.
Yes. Would cleaning out that the desk drawer on the way to the phone because it has really gotten cluttered and you need to do it and get all that stuff cleared up so you will be able to pay attention to the phone more, is that an IPA? No. Okay. So, if that's my mouth. It looks like a phone. That's my One thing you might need to do if you struggle with being busy, and there's a difference between activity and productivity, is to track what you're doing. And I know you've done this every half-hour chunk of your time. Amy's actually done this. That blew me away. One time she sent me like every 5 minutes throughout the whole day. I thought, what the heck, man? She's really tracking her time.
I was trying so hard.
Well, no, because the bottom line is it directly affecting your bottom line, or is it just making you feel better, like you've done something? Are you aware of that? If you're aware from that from the beginning, then you're not going to lose so many hours and feel like you've been working all day without getting anything done. And, I am preaching to the choir, sister. Sometimes I think I need medication for ADD or something. I really do. I might need to check into that. My mind can go bing, 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 bing. So, okay.
That's just multitasking.
Oh, and multitasking kills your brain cells.
No.
Yeah, there's research on it. Kills brain cells. Yeah. So really, when I'm trying, the only time, if I'm talking to you, I'm really trying to just talk to you and not be doing other things. No, I'm not texting. I'm lying. I'm texting. I'm doing other things. But if I'm talking to you, like it's a coaching session or something like that, I'm focusing on you. Okay. Okay. Last thing that I think that we're going to be able to go over and hopefully get so we can get to habits for success. This is my goal tonight. Our role is your director. What it is and what it is not. And when you take the emotion out of it, then nobody gets hurt. Okay? Number one, our role as your directors is to help you see the big picture. Is your canvas growing? Are you going to Art in the Vine? I'm just kidding. On the 21st. Is your view... Is it the 22nd? Yeah. Oh, my word. See, my attention to detail is not good. But I know, I can figure out my checks. That I know how to do.
I never know what mine is.
She never knows what her checks are. I know my check's going to be, I can figure it out.
I have no idea.
Isn't it crazy? So
I'm
you're,
always like, woo! Or,
okay, anyways, is your canvas growing? Is your view of the picture growing? So my intention is, number one, that it always continues to grow. Number two, my role is to help you set your goals based on what I hear you saying, help you know what all is out there so you can choose what to take advantage of. So if I'm like, if Sarah Catherine's like, oh, Yolanda, you're going to be a director because that's what I think your potential is. No. It's because it's got to be what you want, you know. So we have to help you. So if someone says, I want to make $300 a week and that's what I'm going to do, then that's my job. That's her job. Then number three, our role is to equip you to be successful by teaching you how to book, coach, sell, and team build. Book, coach, sell, and team build. Book, coach, sell, and team build. How well you become at those four skills will determine the longevity of your Mary Kay career. Would you agree with that one, Mary Catherine? Somebody just give me some medication. I'm kidding. A lot of times it goes in that order, or for the most part it will. If you're talking to someone and they say, oh gosh, this sounds like the best career opportunity ever, then you don't have to say, well, I got to facial you first, because I'm not talking to you until I facial you first. But trying to share the career opportunity sometimes with people where they're just like, I haven't even tried your product yet. I don't even know if I like it. You know, don't shove it down their throat because they don't know if they. I knew that it was a good product because I had already used it previously. So sometimes that can be frustrating if you're trying to share with them and they've never tried the product, because you'll get tired of hearing, well, I have to try the product first. So if we had done our business full circle to begin with, you know, book, coach, then that we would miss out on a lot of that frustration. Number four, our role is to help keep you encouraged and motivated along the way. It's not our job to motivate you. Motivation comes from within. This is a business, but once your director gets hold of your dream, then she's never going to let you forget it unless you tell her not to. So, but our role is also not to hold your hand to the point where it handicaps you. So we are not going to waste our time teaching you things in person that you can learn on your own. That's a lot of times if I'm short, not short, but if I'm short, it's because I've got 50 texts at the same time, or I've got to get out the door. It's not because I'm trying to be mean, I promise. So that's why we're doing this, for example, streamlining, trying to teach you things that you can do on your own that you don't have to do, you know, in person. And I know that y'all are just as busy as we are, maybe if not more busy. I know she is for sure. And I know that you've taken a lot of time and set aside time to do your training. So I appreciate you for that. That's a huge sacrifice. So what I reserve for that time when we talk together is for things that you wouldn't know. Does that make sense? Whereas otherwise I would say, well, where do you think you could find that information? That would be something that you could do on your own, because the time we spend together, we want it to be maximum for you. Or things that we can learn together as a group. And I know that you're here by choice, so I trust that you're committed enough to take your business in the time to learn the information that's available to you. There is a wealth of information on Mary Kay in Touch under Silver Wing Scholarship Program. There is a wealth of information on our website. Mine is lisaslifechangers.com. What's your, Sarah Catherine?
SarahCatherineJoseph.com.
SarahCatherineJoseph.com with a Y. Okay, there's a wealth of information. So when a new consultant say, what's my first steps? I say, go to the new consultant section. Do steps 1 through 3. That's easy. I mean, so you can do that, or you can be a microwave, or you can be a crock pot. It's up to you. You can, but as long as you're taking baby steps or big mommy steps, mother may I, in the right direction, you're still going in the right direction. And there's the Product Central on Mary Kay in Touch. That's an encyclopedia of every product we have. I mean, if somebody, crazy. Oh, we're supposed to ask. Okay. I'm almost done. And then, so the way it works is your recruiter, whoever your recruiter is, so both of y'all, I'm your recruiter, can take you your step day-by-day questions. I'm thinking about hiring Dana an extra day to, be in my office to answer questions for, simple things so that I can be more balanced. It's your director's job to be your mentor. But, for example, that as y'all are team building and stuff, that you would offset some of those, like they want to ask you about ProPay and all that, they can either talk to Dana in my office about that, or they would be talking to you, because you want to learn how to be able to explain that to them as well. I mean, obviously I know how to explain it because I've explained it 100 times, but that's not an income-producing activity for me at this point. Okay. And Mary Kay has really worked a lot with directors to make sure that we know how to manage our time efficiently and effectively, and run a successful business while working with our customers and team at the same time. So they're teaching us to work with 2 different types of people: key people and new people. You're a key person, y'all are new person. It's people as far as, the kinds of consultants. The ones that are in it for hobby, or they don't really need that much of my time. So after about 6 weeks, you're going to be an expert, and you'll probably be telling everybody else how to do it. Amy knows how to tell everybody else how to do it. It just kind of seems to happen. Who are key people? Key people are people that are working their business. They're making time for their education. They're committed to their weekly training events on a consistent basis. They bring guests. They submit their weekly accomplishment sheets. We're going to be doing that later. So don't allow all that to overwhelm you, but just kind of giving you this information to put in the back of your mind. Key people are people who have consistent appointments on their books. Are y'all bored? You seem kind of bored. I know, because if we do this in 3 hours like I normally do it, your head starts going like this. But anyways, so I do not look at my sheet and go, oh, she's got a great personality, I think I'm going to work with her. That's not how we do it, even though I would love to. So that makes no difference whatsoever, because we're running this race together. So and I don't believe in coincidence at all. I believe in divine appointment, as that girl told me. So that is why we are in this together. I believe that God brought each of you into my life for different reasons, specific reasons, and then I always say this: my love is unconditional, totally unconditional. But then, like we talked about it, I mean, I have time for y'all because y'all are working your businesses. My time is not unconditional, because I'd be a crazy person. So, and that was something I was talking to you about before. So that's why I have to implement some systems so that it runs like a well-oiled machine. Okay. Habits for success. Oh, that's the sheet. Where is she? See where she is for habits. If I have time to go into habits for success. Do y'all, while she's doing that, do any of y'all have questions, number, at all so far? Because some of them might be, oh wow, I have a lot of habits for success.
No, it's a lot of good information.
Oh, we haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes yet. This is just kind of the introduction.
But it's so good.
I took a lot of time putting this together.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
It feels good that it's good information.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're doing their bronzer.
What?
They're doing their bronzer.
So they're done? Okay.
Stop.
Okay. No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start. I'm going to give you some habits for success. My director made 4 verbal agreements with me. First one was, if you want this business to be successful, treat it like the business that it is. Okay? I already talked about the different reasons that people come into Mary Kay, so I'm not going to do that. All of you have completed the one requirement it takes to become a consultant. What have you done? You bought your starter kit and signed the agreement. From that point forward, everything else is your decision. Our job as your business advisor is to give you suggestions and recommendations and advice along the way. You can take it and run with it, or you can run straight to the trash with it. It's totally up to you. Sometimes it makes me sad, but it doesn't, you know. Agreement number 2, this is a business. We will return your call. Oh, this is funny. I will return your text within 24 seconds. I'm just kidding. I used to have on here, I will return your call within 24 hours as long as you respect my time and return my call within 24 hours. And then we have something called, and I know we are so much quicker than that now. This is before texting was going on. Wanted to give you a rundown on how the A-Team works. What is the A-Team? A-Team is our adoptee plan. Just like you have, you might have been an adopted kid. You can be an adopted consultant. Sonia was one of my adoptees. That means she lives in Terrell. Her director lived in Frisco. Not convenient for her, So she attended meetings here, participated in everything that we did. I treat her like one of my own. However, contests and things like that need to be determined, like so if you bring somebody that really belongs to someone else, then they need to decide whether they want to participate in our contest or they want to participate in their director's contest. They don't participate in both. A lot of times they want to participate in the meeting that they're going to, because it's just more, it's more fun for them. So but for day-to-day questions, and you can pass this along to your adoptee friends if they come or you want to bring them, operational questions are for their recruiter or their director, not for their adoptee director. Also interviews. We don't do interviews because I could be stepping on somebody. I might not interview the exact same way that she does, and really that's not the way it was set up to be. So adoptees are open to taking anything that we have while we're here, if that makes sense. Would you agree? Okay. Any kind of event, guests, promotions, challenges, and then once, if you have a friend or somebody that's an adoptee, then once you decide who your adoptee director is, because I have like Leah and Lauren, since they live an hour and a half away, are going to be going to McKinney or Sherman meeting. They're going to come here about once a month, because it's hard for them to do. I don't expect them to do that. So they'll decide which promotions they want to be a part of, but then they can also go and bring guests. It's better for them to bring guests to those meetings, because they're having trouble getting people wanting to come. I don't blame them. Who wants to go to Waco on a Monday night? That's what that would be to me, driving to Waco. Hey, I'll be down there. So, number 3 agreement, I match my time with your effort. If you stop working, then, this is so hard to say, but I wouldn't keep contacting you because you don't want me to. I'm not your boss. Sarah Catherine's not your boss. Well, she is, but not Mary Kay. We're your mentor and advisor. So the more you do, then the more then we're there for you because, it's a give and take relationship. Okay. And so the only way that we can tell that you're serious about your business is the effort that you're putting in. And I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because y'all do. Y'all put in so much effort. But a lot of people want to be a director, but not as many people are willing to do the work that it takes to be a director. They're just not. I want to be. I've heard that so many times. I want to be. But sometimes I can say, I really feel like saying, and I can't say it, but what you're doing is screaming at me so loudly I can't hear what you're saying. Right? Am I saying that right? The actions that you were.
Because actions speak louder than words.
Right,
yes,
thank you. Actions speak louder than words. Thank you. So, I learned in DIQ when I set goals and miss goals and set goals and miss goals, the one thing I had to ask myself, are my actions lining up with my work? Are they? Words don't get you anywhere, unfortunately. If we stop contacting you, it doesn't mean we don't love you. But sometimes, commitments aren't held, So, if you say, Lisa, or Sarah, I'm going to be on the call with you, and then, you just don't call. She didn't. She had something, she said, I'm going to see. We had a call plan, and was very polite. She let me know ahead of time. I'm going to see you tonight, and we've already talked this week, and I think I was like, great. Then I knew my hour was free. That's acting like a professional, instead of, I just don't call you, Okay. So, all it means is that you're operating a business like a business, and just making sure that the people who are investing time and energy and effort in their business are the ones that are getting the support that they need when they need it, which we don't. Do me a favor. Well, y'all don't do this anyways, but just text me and say, hey, I need to talk to you. Don't be specific. I need to talk to you about da-da-da-da. Because if it's something that that's I need to know how pressing it is. Does that make sense? We need to know how pressing it is. If it's something you need to know right away because you got that person sitting there, or if it's well, I need to know what to wear for this event that's 3 weeks away. So that, and then that way too, I can have Dana. She's helping me with some of those things as well. If you leave a detailed text or not have to be totally detailed, but give us a heads up. Okay. That way we know. Oh, and then the other thing too is if it's something that I need to look up ahead of time, then I can get the answer versus saying, okay, we're talking. I don't know the answer. Let me get back with you. Agreement number 4. Since this is a business, if you want to be successful, education and training is essential, and you want to be successful, obviously, because you're here. So based on the goals that you've set for your own business, this will mandate the amount of time and effort that you will put into your business. And if you truly want to be successful, education at your weekly meeting is something you'll want to make a decision to do. So you'll know the how, the when, and the where it takes place. Well, you already know because you're here. But it's all on our calendars, on our website. What's going on, what time. We've really gotten good at that. Okay, other habits that are going to serve you really, really well and carry you a long way in your business is a positive attitude. And again, I want you to understand that the building a business takes time. And there are 4 stages I wonder if they're ready, in the life cycle of a consultant, especially a new consultant that we all go through. So if I tell you what they are ahead of time and you can see them coming, you won't be surprised when you get to them. I'm sure Amy's already gone through some of them. The first one is excitement. Second one is fear. And sometimes you can go back and forth between those two for 10 minutes for several days in a row. Then the third one is frustration. And then the fourth one is recommitment. And the funny thing is that you can go through all 4 of those cycles in one day. Me too. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You can go through all of those cycles. So, one thing I want you to do for yourself, do me this favor, is whenever you're feeling frustrated, I do the same thing for me. Stop. Stop when you're frustrated and say, why isn't this working for me? I shouldn't say why. But, what reason, why is not a good question because that's putting a negative, but what reason is this not working for me? And so, because
what could you do better?
Yeah, what could I be doing better? Thank you. What could I be doing differently that would give me a different result? Thank you, Brittany. Oh, love it. Because I would venture to say that 90% of the Mary Kay consultants that fall off the Mary Kay wagon never stop and ask themselves that question. It's easier to blame. It's easier to blame or make an excuse. So that's when you become a problem solver. I love being a problem solver. I'm not going to make excuses for myself. And when you stop and ask yourself that question, it allows you to troubleshoot. So if you, for example, if you're having all these appointments and nobody's showing up, there's a reason for that. You can't just say, well, I did what I was supposed to, and it's just not working out. Why do what am I doing that I have such a good, really, a hold rate. There's something that I'm doing, and it's not something that's super, like I have actually, it's on my website as well, but here's Lisa's 5-step texting process for leads, but don't do them with David's Bridal. Don't do it. Use that same text, but you can not with a text, but do it with a on the phone call. If you're calling bridal leads, you can't text them. You have to. Okay. So just use but she can use that as a conversation. Yeah. Phone, texting or calling, it doesn't matter.
You don't need it.
I use it all the time on our website.
Yeah, it's on my website. So,
it's great.
when you stop and ask yourself that question, it allows you to troubleshoot and stop and take a good long hard look at what you're doing that just a little differently than what it says to do. Maybe what words am I changing up that I think sound better but clearly are not working? Sometimes we think that, are they coming out? That we're doing something better. So along those lines, what I just said, use the scripts. Use the scripts that we give you. Use the scripts that are on our website. Mary Kay retired from corporate America when she was 55, and she decided to write a book on the perfect company. She made her list of the things that make a perfect company and a list of things that she didn't like about corporate America that she learned in her years there. Her 19-year-old son convinced her to use that list to start her own company rather than write a book about it. Aren't you glad she didn't just write a book? So with her 30-something years of sales experience before Mary Kay, combined with the past 50 years, we're celebrating our 50 years, so that's 35 plus 50. That's 85 years of sales experience. Does anyone here have more sales experience than that? No, we don't. So that's why we're using her script, because they work. Now, we make them more modern, but it's the same, it's not like, would you be interested? No, we don't. Do you? No, those don't work. But these scripts work, they're proven, and that's why they've been around for 50 years. So, have y'all ever looked at any of the scripts I've given you and said, oh my gosh, there's no way on God's green earth that I could ever say that? Oh, really? Yeah, I know you have. She argues with me about them.
Oh, really?
No, but I will say, when Dana first texted me, I was kind of like, okay, who's this crazy lady texting me?
What?
When Dana first texted me, I was
Uh-huh.
kind of like, who is this crazy lady texting me, and how did she get my number?
Well, we're not texting anymore. We're going to be calling. Yeah. But, what was I saying? Okay. Inflect your own personality. So take the script and inflect your own personality, because as you take it, it will become yours. So one thing that has always been okay with, like I loved that I learned from Gloria Mayfield Banks, is she would say, would you be offended if I gave you my business card? That works for me. That does not work for Amy. She couldn't get comfortable with it.
Really?
So she's okay with saying, are you familiar with Mary Kay? Right? Are you okay with saying that?
That's not what I say.
What do you say? Okay, she makes it her own thing. What do you say, Amy?
I don't.
You don't?
What do you say?
How's that working for you?
It's just, all the business I've been doing is off of referrals. I need to be doing that.
Yeah.
But that's something I'm working on.
The warm chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
I'll
fear.
say, are you familiar, or would you be offended? I love, would you be offended if I gave you a business card? They're like, what?
I go to many doctors.
Yes, would you be offended if I gave you my business
And I
card?
talk to the nurses.
Yeah.
I talk to
Oh,
them.
girl, please. Okay.
And I go get my patch Mary Kay.
So, yeah. I'm just so. Anyways, you inflect your own personality and character. Okay, and you can practice on your best friend or your spouse, but once you've said them enough, those words are going to come naturally out of your mouth. I've stood in front of the mirror before and said it over and over and over again. I even declared myself a national sales director in the shower every time I got in.
Good.
I was like, introducing national sales director Lisa Chakmachin-Reimer as I step into the shower. There's something about the power of the spoken word.
What else?
Yes, it's true. So don't come up with your own brilliant script. I guess you could. If they're not working for you, though, then maybe you go back and use the ones we gave you.
Right.
Right? So, because they're there, they're proven, there's a reason. Not because we're trying to be, all up in your business and telling you what to do. It's just trying to take the frustration out of it for you. So, anyway, I think that is it. That's where I'm going to stop for tonight. Are they coming out? They're waiting on me? Oh, they're waiting on me? Okay, so you can go ahead. We're saying sayonara for tonight. We will see you next week, same time, same station.